Short answer, no. Longer answer, no. Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Pancast, the podcast where you're not to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom Grossi, and today we talk about a question that I didn't think I would be asked, but yet here we are. The question is, should the Packers draft a QB? And I feel like there's two different questions that are going on here, because I've gotten both of them. Should we draft a quarterback for the eventual replacement of Aaron Rodgers? Or should we draft a quarterback to solve our backup issues? If you're asking for the first one, and if you're asking for the second one, that's my detailed response on that. Before we dive in a little bit deeper, I want to do a big shout out and thank you to all those members over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy for all of your support. And if you would like to support me and also get some cool rewards, check out patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. Now, let's acknowledge the first question. Should we draft a quarterback for the eventual replacement of Aaron Rodgers? Now, these questions were like coming up maybe every now and then, right? And then last season happened. Rodgers had a career low when starting like the entire season. Didn't look well. Well, didn't look like typical Aaron Rodgers. And so the questions started getting more and more frequent. Then the Bleacher Report article came out, and those questions continued to be asked. And so, before I completely shut down that question, let's take a look at his contract, shall we? Aaron freaking frackin' Rodgers is scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent in 2024 when he is 40 years old. And just in case we want some extra math there, it's currently 2019. Now, technically, we have a potential out in 2022 when he's 38, which would just cost us $11.5 million in dead cap space. So, right now he's 35. And so, for the potential out, we have 3 more years. And if we go until the entirety of his contract, we have 5 more years of Aaron Rodgers. And so, my answer to those people who are asking, should we draft an eventual replacement, is that bare minimum, the guy is going to be sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. And some of you might be like, Tom, 3 years? That's how long Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre, and looked how well that worked out. And I would agree with you. I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good, right? Not bad. Spending a first-round pick, get a QB, right? And in 3 years, hope that he is the next Aaron Rodgers, right? Or you look on the other side of it, considering Tom Brady is 41 years old, and if he's playing until he's 40, that's 5 years that potential first-round pick is sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. And so for that, I would say absolutely not. But let's continue to break this down a little bit further. So there's about 4 QBs right now that are projected to go within the first round, right? So you have obviously Kyler Murray, but then you have guys like Drew Lock, you have the guy from Duke, you got Haskins, you got a bunch of people who are projected, and who knows, QB needy teams might even trade back in and snag some guys. You also have guys like Ryan Finley or Clayton Thorson who are projected to go anywhere between rounds 2 and 3. So my first question to you is it worth picking up a guy in the first round where we have 2 picks, right? So maybe with our number 30 pick, number 12, don't ever ask me that question because the answer is going to be a fat no. Or do we spend a second-round pick or maybe even a third-round pick on a guy who, may not be able to start immediately and may sit behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 to 5 years? So my answer to this is a blunt no. And the reason being is because when Aaron Rodgers was picked up, right? I feel like that's a scenario that is most likely not going to happen again, in that Aaron Rodgers was projected to go like number 1, right? It was him or Alex Smith. Here, there is no QB that's like that, right? There's Kyler Murray, who's going to go number 1 either to the Cardinals or the Raiders, or some team is going to pick up and get him. So I wouldn't put anyone on an Aaron Rodgers level, right? That is going to like miraculously slip down to number 30. And so, again, I don't think that scenario is likely. So you're asking me if like Kyler Murray falls down to 30, do you draft him? Maybe in that case, maybe. But if you draft him and don't actually address a need for this team, whether it's tight end, whether it's a pass rusher, whether it's an inside linebacker, whether it's cornerback, whether it's safety, whether it's offensive lineman, and you go with a guy who is not going to play for years, and then I don't understand that logic. And listen, I may have been saying the same exact thing back in 2005. And I know when Aaron Rodgers got picked, a lot of boos filled the halls of Lambeau Field. But I think that is sending the complete and total wrong message to this team, to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you want to piss off a guy, this is the way to do it. I just don't get it. Now, let's just say Aaron Rodgers has like a really bad year this year. Let's just say, right? Like, and I mean a bad one. Not bad for like Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying like a historically bad season for like a quarterback. Everyone is like, oh, Aaron Rodgers played poorly. Then maybe, because you'll have 2 more seasons with him, right? Until you have an out with this contract, maybe you draft his successor. But in all honesty, if Aaron Rodgers is still able to play at Aaron Rodgers' level, I don't think you draft a QB to replace him until maybe a year or 2 before his contract expires. So that could either be, right, in 2 years, if he has an out, in 2022, or, yeah, like, you have 5 more seasons of Aaron Rodgers, so don't draft a quarterback until 4 years from now. Like, this isn't something that we should be super preoccupied with because we have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So I feel like those people worrying about the answer to this of like, oh man, we have to get his successor. Relax. See what I did there? Because, again, we're okay. And listen, I'm not even saying we're going to make the playoffs this year, but I'm saying at the QB position, we're okay. And if I'm wrong about that, then we can address this question. But it's way too early to start asking this. So, long answer and short answer, no. We don't need to draft Aaron Rodgers' successor in 2019. Now, there's the little bit more sane and rational question of, should we draft a quarterback to be our backup? And I'm also going to say no to this one as well. And the reason being is because, and I'm not saying this is a good, we have Deshaun Kaiser, right? So we traded for him, a former first-round pick. We traded for him. We have no idea what he's capable of because he barely played last year, and during the preseason, didn't really look that great. My stance on this particular issue has been for years that we need to bring in a veteran backup QB. That's it. Like that. And I know people are like, oh, let's take a shot on a QB, maybe in like round 4 or 5, or who knows, let me go pick up a free agent, something like that, after the unsigned guy, something like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you're getting them in the deeper rounds, maybe round 4 is a little bit high, but I'm saying like the deeper rounds, or you pick up a guy who is unsigned, undrafted, then sure, and you see if you can, blossom him into a backup quarterback. But like, we've done this now for so many years. Like, when's the last time that we had an actual capable veteran QB? Matt Flynn? 2013? And so we've gone through so many guys, and we see the problems when Aaron Rodgers goes down because this team is built around Aaron Rodgers. And so, like, this is a time, like, so obviously I know Ryan Fitzpatrick went and signed with Miami. Like, that was a time where, like, you go and you sign a Fitzpatrick, right? Some guy who is not going to blow the doors off the place, but will be able to win you a few games. I don't know if we have that in DeShone Kizer. I don't know if he is the future backup of the Green Bay Packers. The guy is still super duper young, and I'm sure has some aspirations of at least playing in the NFL. I know the Packers are super duper high on him, but again, we traded a former first rounder for him. So, again, I don't think the draft is going to solve that problem. I think that's something where you go and you spend some money in free agency. Because again, as history has shown, if Aaron Rodgers goes down, the Packers are pretty much screwed. And I hope that we're getting away from that kind of mentality and we're getting away from that kind of team. And even though I know what I'm about to say is like sacrilege, like a Vikings or an Eagles kind of thing in which you could have your backup quarterbacks playing in the NFC Championship game or winning a Super Bowl. Because again, they're not going to lose you the game. DeShone Kizer, I don't know if he can go and win us a football game. Brett Hundley really couldn't. Now, I know he was greatly restricted, I would argue, by like McCarthy, but no. So again, looking at QB, I think that needs to be so far out of our minds. If we're doing it for a backup, maybe in the later rounds, or you pick up a guy and have him compete with DeShone Kizer in training camp. But as a replacement, hell no. Hell no. Ask me this question in like 4 years. Then we'll come talk. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossiComedy, Comedy, at TomGrossiComedy on the social media see down below. And also check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and of course, here on YouTube multiple times per week. But we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.